Also, Megan brought up that she knew Luke in diapers, and I'm grossed out. I'm so grossed out by when she mentioned that.
I mean, I'm grossed out by their whole relationship.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Nicole.
Hi, I'm Alisha.
And you're watching Black by Reality.
A place for black bi baddies.
And those who love us.
Today we're going to talk about episode 8 of Cruel Summer.
Yes. It was a big one.
Probably the best episode so far.
Yes, we got so many answers and huge lead up. Luke? Luke is trash of the highest order.
Yeah.
The girls seemed a little unhinged, not gonna lie. I'm like,
it's valid.
It's valid, but also I'm not comfortable with the drugging part.
I'm not comfortable with that either.
Yeah.
Or the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get rid of guns. Let's get rid of guns, y'all.
I think I don't know how it would have played out differently, but we didn't need to put drugs. Like he said, he was already drunk. But they insisted on drugging him as a truth serum, which, honey, boo-boo, I don't think that's a truth serum. It's just drugging someone. Serum.
We're definitely watching his death.
Yeah.
Like, we're watching his death slowly.
Yeah. I really thought the benzos was going to be so separate from all of this, but you were right. You were like, so someone drugged them, someone, and I was like, that's extra. That's a lot.
This was a co-conspiracy. Megan drugged him and Izza shot him.
Yeah.
They did this together.
They sure did.
And now they turned on each other.
Yeah, and we see that. Luke is very good at trying to get these two girls to turn on each other, but I'm also kind of fed up with Megan because it wouldn't work if Megan wasn't such like I want to say a pick me. Like I want to be understanding. I want to be understanding that Megan has known Luke her whole life. That's a lot of loyalty to go up against for Isabella, but like she doesn't tell Isabella that Isabella is her best friend until she is officially with Luke.
That is
true. She's only grateful.
Well, that's because she's like passing the torch now. It's like Luke's not only my best friend anymore. He's my boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Now Isabella, you can be. That's a bug.
Yeah.
Now Isabella, you can be my best friend. That's how it seemed.
Okay, but I still thought, the only reason Isabella like truly has value to you is because you finally got this boy.
That as well.
And I'm like, that's disgusting.
And that it had to be Isabella like serving this boy to her.
Serving him up on a platter.
Like, open your pretty brown eyes.
Yeah. And part of me wanted to also be like Megan, how mad can you be that these two had sex? Like the lying, yes, but it's so presumptuous of her. She knew Isabella was dating Luke, and she just assumed, but you couldn't have possibly had sex. But
you have to remember this time period. Like, in the 90s, your first cringe.
Yeah.
But, like, your first is considered such a big deal. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
She got pretty emotional at this idea of, like, she's not the first for this person that has been the first for her in so many ways. And I think that like she was also thinking like, Izza and Luke have only dated for such a short period of time. Like there's no way they could have had sex. It's still
so presumptuous.
It is presumptuous. It is. And I also think that like because Izza was telling Megan how much Luke didn't mean that much to her, and like Izza was really downplaying that relationship. So that's another reason why, I understand Megan being shocked.
Going back to the ultimatum, do you think that if Isabella told Megan right then and there, I did have sex with Luke, but I actually don't like him like that, would she have been like that blonde who is like, you put your fingers inside the person I love and it didn't even mean anything to you? Like, she was so angry about that.
She probably would have reacted that way. I'm such a type of person who like I would rather be as honest as I can
Yeah.
before shit pops off.
Yeah.
That like it is like a little bit out of character for Izza to like not say that. Because
Yeah.
Izza has been keeping it 100 since the beginning, but I also get why she didn't say it because
She hasn't though.
you don't think so?
To be real, it's not like she talked about what happened at St. Bart's. Like she claims
That's
she
her.
tried.
That's her.
Like, but
That's her
still
history.
not coming.
I'm
up,
talking
like,
about keeping it 100 when
100.
it comes to Luke and when it comes to Megan. Like
She
like
didn't tell him. She didn't tell her immediately about like the kiss and stuff. Like, it's not. Is it will withheld information if it suits her? Just like when he talks about, hey, I just went with it since I realized you didn't tell her. Then she wants to get high and mighty and be like, but that's my best friend and it's gonna hurt her. It's like, you were already holding on to the secret. What's the difference now? And it's like, yeah, boo, like you started this. So it's a decision now. Either do it, like, and you also don't have to do it just because Luke said so. Like,
that's not fair. I don't know. I feel like Isabella she's so lonely right now.
She is.
She
literally talks to Parker about it's 2 against 1 now.
Exactly.
Because they're a couple.
If she already in this episode, you can tell that in the first timeline, she's already feel like she's losing her best friend to this new relationship. She's already feeling like she's getting dropped. Like if she tells Megan about the sex, that's another possibility that she can lose her. Like I don't know. I'm not saying it was right that she went along with it, but like I can understand why in that moment it felt like the right decision because that friendship has been so fragile since the beginning, and it's even more fragile now that like Megan is in La La Land with this boy.
Yeah.
So like
this boy who has a trash family. The whole car wash scene where Brent goes up to her and like basically gets revenge immediately for her shutting him down by untying her bikini top. And then we find out Steve actually saw it and said, "You'll be okay."
That was painful to watch.
She basically knows Megan is tied to a trash family. Yeah. But she's like, how do I navigate this? Because I can't tell her that. She loves this family.
Which, jumping ahead, I have a new theory. I'm pretty sure Megan's the one who put that tape in.
No.
I think so.
I think Isabella did it.
I mean, Isabella. That's what I meant to say. Sorry.
Yeah.
I meant to say Isabella. I'm pretty sure Isabella is the one
absolutely
who put the tape in. And I think it makes sense as to why she was so quick to eat it and be like, oh, I'm in the tape.
Yeah, because it was more about Luke and this trash family.
Yeah, exposing
than
Luke.
Who Luke was having sex with.
Exactly. I think she did it, which that's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack. But I think she did it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why by the end of this episode, like she's felt like she's done everything to like break this couple apart, to get her best friend back, and for him to turn around and like try to get Megan to turn on her. She's like, oh hell no, like let me just shoot this nigga. Like,
yeah, it's so frustrating.
It is
like try to confront a liar. Like it's so frustrating to just know like he's lying and he already has the edge of having a history with Megan, and not even knowing Megan is pregnant by him. So she has much more incentive to figure things out with him.
Does Izza know this yet?
No. I don't know.
I can't remember if she knows.
We haven't seen her like look through the trash can.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, I don't know. Maybe we're still gonna wait until like the very last episode where we get a super cut of like what Isabella's doing behind the scenes and when she finds this out. But like right now it's very we don't know if she knows.
Yeah.
But this is, and you can tell Megan's definitely wavering towards Luke right now because he's like, we could figure it out. Him saying, she said you were so insecure you wouldn't have been able to handle it. It's like,
He's trash.
Diabolical. Because now that makes me feel like Luke knows Megan's fragile.
Yeah.
And is now like trying to keep his claws into her.
Of course he knows that she's fragile. Think about the earlier episodes where Megan kept running to Luke and talking about how much she can't stand Isabella, and there was like no reason for her to not like her except for her being pretty as hell and cool and interesting. And Luke knew that, and Luke is just like, you need to give her a chance. Da, 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 da. Like Luke knows. Luke knows her pressure points. And yeah, I think like, I mean, I called it. I was just like, I feel like this is a generational like issue happening in this man family of them being trash and like.
Oh, you know what I just thought of? What if Steve has his own collection of tapes?
I can't even think about that.
I will throw up. I can't even
think about
like
that.
What if?
I hope that they don't pull that. But yes, going on to like, okay, so thinking about how this show is like addressing a lot of like late 90s turn of the new millennium social issues and intersecting that with technology. The way that they were talking about like sex tapes in this episode and like the Pamela Anderson
and Tommy Lee.
The leaked tape, and like just toxic masculinity and how these boys are just gassing each other up and being like, oh, I want to see the tape, da, 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 da. And then Brent openly admitting that he makes his own. He said that, right? Oh no, he says he has a collection.
He has a collection.
He didn't explicitly say that the collection is his own. He's
like also into the idea.
Yeah, but of like home and like,
which is like, it's cool if it's consensual.
It's cool if it's consensual.
But these guys are not worried about consensual.
They're not.
It's so interesting because Luke is just quiet through this whole conversation.
And these young men are like feeling entitled. Like they're already feeling entitled to girls' bodies in a way that's like really scary and predatory. And like, and then even like the ones who are not actively participating in this conversation, it's still disgusting because Jeff is like also there as a bystander, and you don't really know where he's like seeing himself in this conversation. He said something like, he made a comment about the tape, but it was not in a here or there way. Like he said something like because one of the boys was like, it's like something around like it being sold out or it being inaccessible to watch.
And he said, well, like, talking about the market for it. So he
like he's thinking about it from like the technical side, but it's still just like, yo, like your friends are girls, like, and also you are also you're a part of this conversation because you're a boy who likes filmmaking. Like, how is that? But then that makes me think about a couple of episodes in the beginning, that diner scene where he's just like, you chose the wrong boy. And
it was giving a little possible revenge.
It was. And I'm wondering if he's somehow going to come back. If he's going to come back towards the end around being a part of this Luke's last moments in some kind of way. Like, did he follow them to the cabin? Like, maybe we're going to get a cutscene back to the New Year's Eve party. And, you know, homeboy is in love with Megan. So he's probably just like, oh, where's Megan? Right. And then someone's just like, oh, she went back to the cabin. What if he's just like, oh, let me go to, I don't know. I want there to be a way where he's somehow connected to this too. I don't know. In like a good way, hopefully. Or in a surveillance way, because he's already been documenting this whole series. What was I gonna say? Their camera is still on. The camera that's in the cabin.
If you're gonna commit a crime, like basically kidnapping someone and then drugging them, like this doesn't look good. I get that they really, really want him to tell the truth and have everyone see it. So everyone knows, but I mean, people are going to question what state of mind Luke's in. People are going to question, why is he tied to a freaking bed? Like, this is it does not look good. And we already know that the world protects boys more than girls. This would fall back on them tenfold. Like,
I mean, but they're thinking of just like leaking this and embarrassing him. They're not thinking that this boy could possibly die
I don't think
tonight.
it's gonna embarrass him, is the sad part. It's very hard to embarrass a man in a misogynistic world.
Can that be the title of this episode?
Maybe. It's really hard.
It is. Oh, that's so true. Especially a young man whose father has so much financial influence in this town, and already swept the first tapes under the rug, and has the power to sweep this tape under the rug. Like,
it's not gonna do nothing.
I wonder if, remember the tapes about the mom from when Parker and Isa broke into the house? I wonder if that's gonna come back too.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if like something about the mother also has to do with like surveillance. Maybe the father has a terrible tape with the mother.
Absolutely. Because it's just like, how are they getting these ideas?
Exactly. It's in their DNA.
Like, something is so fishy.
Something is not making sense. And then Brent needs to go to juvie. Like,
Brent needs so many things.
Wait,
he's not even juvie because he might be of age.
Okay,
even
that's so contradictory because I'm like, abolish the police, abolish all this, but like, Brent needs, I don't know, military school. Like, he needs something. So he needs to go on an episode of Jerry Springer.
He's so evil. He needs to get away from that dad. Honestly, the dad's the root of it all. Oh, something at first when Jeff was doing the whole exchange with the tape, I at first thought that was tape, but the other boy said, "Thanks, man. My little sister said this was so funny." So he's doing bootleg tapes, which is like, I don't care about.
90s.
It's very 90s. Which Megan kept saying, "I know things about you" and stuff like that. So I was really like, what could it be? Because we didn't see it for the longest time. Now it's like, Megan, you're threatening him over bootleg tapes?
Do you really think that the reason why Megan and Isa why they're not talking in the current timeline is because Isa had sex with?
Yes, absolutely.
But he's dead now. Like,
she
why still be mad about this?
She says she's embarrassed.
That's still giving pick me energy post grave. Like, he's dead. Like, y'all helped kill him,
and he's
possibly
trash.
Like,
but she still was like, wow, I had my first boyfriend. I thought we both had our first time together, but it felt, I honestly,
but he's not even worth like holding on to that dream.
No, absolutely not.
Like,
absolutely not. But again, Megan is insecure. Let's just say that Megan is insecure,
she is.
And she was already like, okay, is my best friend and my boyfriend sneaking around, blah, blah, blah. Which, again, she had him first. You begged for her leftovers and she let you have it. That's what you should be mad at. That you were dumb.
I mean, this is hitting close to home because when I was a young person, I talked about this before. I was in like a fucked up best friend love triangle.
Yeah.
I do think that there's like certain questions you have to ask when like you are about to get it in with a best friend's ex, which already is sloppy. Don't do it. I don't recommend it.
No.
I only recommend it if it's just like, depending on how much time has passed, or like depending on like, is this really a strong connection? Like, is this a strong enough connection to pursue a relationship with this person? Also, like, what end of the spectrum are you on? How strong is your friendship? You know, there's a lot of variables, but I do think an important variable is like, what should I know about y'all before we start something new? Right? Like, that is.
She asked no questions. She asked no questions because she's so self-centered.
But it's also like, I also am of a mind of like, I don't know, like the 90s was so into like the body count in the numbers. I mean, body count is still something that
Yeah.
unfortunately exists today too.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, I don't know, like if you do want to be with someone, like do you need, like is it really important to know?
It's
like,
but that's what I'm saying.
It's a complicated conversation, because
I feel
wouldn't
you.
want to, like, if I was like the Luke in this situation, I wouldn't want to have to be like, yo, and I also did it, like, you know, like
I feel the same way, but it's like that's how I feel about Megan being mad, knowing
like
what
I
it
feel
is.
you should just like kind of assume.
Uh-huh.
Like you should kind of assume that, like, okay,
Exactly.
some things went down. I don't need to know the details.
She knew she wanted to literally take him
She
from
did.
this other girl who was like having some form of a relationship. So it's like, just own it. Like, you weren't embarrassed then. Everyone was literally telling you it's weird. It's weird that the day after your best friend dumps him, you're now all over him.
Who was telling her that? It seems like people were more so seeing it as, oh, they were always supposed to be together, and like Isabella and was like in the way of that. That's how it seemed.
Nah. I think it was like after the sleep came out, I think that was some of the backlash. Like obviously it was like, oh, a lot of slut shaming Isabella, but I think it was just like, what's going on with these three people? They're so weird for that. And like there was something else. I think Parker, even when they're at the car wash, they're not looking at Megan and Luke like, what a cute couple. They're like, this is weird. Because they always knew them as friends. But then even Parker's like, how are you doing and feeling about this? Because it's weird. And Megan, you can't get mad when you literally know his history, which was yesterday, bitch.
I think Megan really just wants to feel like something is in her control. And I think, you know, from losing the scholarship to money to now this, like, I think she just feels like nothing is the way that she wants it to be, or as perfect as she wants it to be. And I feel like that's a big part of growing up, actually, is that a part of maturing is just accepting that, like, your desires, your fantasies are not aligned with reality most of the time, and that's okay. Like, there's other things affecting how things work in your life, and like,
totally,
it's, and yeah, I think Megan cannot begin to fathom how that, you know, that night, I don't remember which episode it was, but that night where or that day where Izza and Luke did have sex, and yeah, Izza did want to talk about the day with Megan, but Megan was just like, you know, earlier when you said, like, if I like Luke, I should tell you. Like, she just immediately made it about her.
She wants to be the main character constantly. Like, it was her turn to be Isabella's ear.
I mean, that's whiteness, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a symptom of white supremacy and white
so
girls.
Entitled.
Yeah.
Because even with the school that she wanted, it's never just like, oh, I want this, and if it happens, it happens. It's like, no, I'm going to lie, scheme, and steal in order to get in this school because I just feel entitled to that.
Right.
So, like, I feel like, yeah, it was her entitlement in that moment. Like, she had zero. It's the lack of shame for me, honestly. It's the lack of shame of hopping onto your, like, friend's ex the next day. She could have waited a week.
And not.
You know what is great that happens in this episode, though? Parker apologizes to Isabella for being such a bitch. Nice. You know who hasn't done that?
Yeah.
Megan. Yeah. I don't think she's like really acknowledged like how
she's not going to. I don't think. I don't see that being. Well, maybe that will be like that's one of the turning points in the finale.
Yeah.
You know, maybe. Let's talk about A Beautiful Black Velvet.
Okay, what's your BB moment?
I think, oh man, I'm trying to remember the conversation, but like,
tell me what timeline and I'll look.
It was the first one. It was between Jeff and Isabella.
Yeah,
they always have like their little moments together.
Yeah,
and I think that like, why did she walk over to him?
who knows? I think she usually tries to check in on Jeff,
Yeah,
honestly,
she
which
does.
is a great part of her. But she was just
But
like,
no
it was
one checks
always
in on her.
no,
No one checks in on Izza. Like, she
no,
is holding this whole town on her back.
truly.
The one time that someone actually defends Izza in this well, we'll get back to the beautiful black moment, but just real quick, the one time that someone does like stand up for Izza is in this episode is Debbie.
No, Parker did it in
Parker too, yes. Parker
yeah.
too, yes. Of
Yeah.
course, yes, Parker. But the second time, I guess, is Debbie when Steve was like, remember when they had that moment where Steve was like, oh, like,
I feel like she could have gone harder though.
Of course.
Because he's confronting Debbie about the whole situation, and he's like, I think those girls had something to do with it. And she says, I'm not going to let Megan go down for something she didn't do. And he's like, well, would you say the same about Isabella? And she just walks away. And it's like,
no, there was that whole moment where she was also just like, I'm also protecting Isabella because I'm the reason why she's here. Everyone in this town was slut shaming her after the tape came out. Like, that girl's been having a hard time.
But that was still the end note.
Yeah.
Is her walking away when he says, well, did Isabella do it?
She definitely could have went harder.
And it's like,
but like,
we do know Megan told her something about how that went down. So maybe she did tell her that Isabella did it. But I just feel like she could have gone harder on that.
Yeah. Full black moment. They had a conversation. Isabella and Jeff.
She tells him, like, this was always meant to be. It's not about you. I'm kind of overhearing that.
I'm overhearing that too. Jeff, they both deserve better.
Also, Megan brought up that she knew Luke in diapers, and I'm grossed out. I'm so grossed out by when she mentioned that.
I mean, I'm grossed out by their whole relationship.
Yeah. Isabella asked Luke, too, did you watch Brent's tapes? We find out he absolutely did.
This is the Brent has made, right?
Yeah. That's his brother.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God. And even Brent said, I would never. Like, I if I saw you in it, I would have just like, but ew.
This family is
Luke
trash.
is worse than Brent.
He's terrible. Like, I mean, they're both terrible. I don't know. Well, he's God. The fact that he, like,
you know
recorded them without.
This is Euphoria all over again.
Yeah, it is.
So Luke is Nate. Luke is Nate because when his father makes those videos, he's watching it, and even he sexually harasses the person that his dad slept with, meaning Hunter Schafer's character.
Yeah.
I mean, Brent's doing that. No. Yeah. This family is basically that family in Euphoria. That's what it is. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I do, like, as like disgusting and uncomfortable it is to talk about and watch this happen.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that it is a conversation that's happening because like leaked nudes, leaked sex tapes, consent, like all of that is really something that like we all need to be thinking about, not just young people.
Absolutely.
So it is good that like these nuances are happening in these shows at an earlier time, but it's still just so cringy to have to witness.
Yes. And that also extends to celebrities, because we have to remember the big example they used was Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee.
Right.
And I think a lot of people at home would still be like, well, it's a little different. Like, I think obviously we know a lot of people watched the Kim Kardashian video. I didn't, but I think
I haven't seen any of those leaked.
I think a lot of people still feel very entitled when it's out there. Like, I didn't steal it, but you know, I'm not as culpable.
People all like, society already feels entitled to femmes' bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when it comes to like leaked photos, leaked videos from celebrities, people feel even more of a right to watch those things because they're seeing celebrities as like, well, you have no boundaries. You have no like boundaries around privacy because you're already in the spotlight, which is not fair.
They figure out that Luke recorded them himself. He claims it was to watch it back later it would have been so hot. But it's like, if that was truly it, I still think he's lying. Because if that was truly it, why wouldn't you be like, oh, do you want to film?
Exactly. You just gotta ask.
You can't just
like,
pop up.
You can't just like do something that's violent. That's so violent.
And you think the girl's gonna be into watching that, knowing like that she didn't give permission for this?
I think
he's a liar.
Something that is happening between Luke and Megan is like the ways that, how do I phrase this? Like, I feel like there's particular ways that, like, if you were best friends if you're a femme and you were best friends with a boy or a man, and then it crosses over into being romantic, like, we're seeing the ways that, like, as a femme, you're just like, oh, like, I'm just getting, you're expecting or hoping that you're just gonna get more of this person, right? Like, you still are best friends, but now it's romantic.
Yeah.
Whereas with boys and men, it's usually like, no, they kind of like switch. Their brain just kind of switches in this weird way where, like, now that you're their romantic partner, they're treating you, they could treat you like an object. They can treat you like trash, because a lot of boys and men don't really respect femmes, right? Like, they may respect you, like, falsely respect you as a friend, but, like, once it crosses over, even then it's
the
still
misogyny.
There's still misogyny.
The minute you push back on the misogyny, y'all are not going to be cool.
Exactly. And like, yeah, what Megan is seeing is that, like, she's thinking, oh, we've known each other since we've been in diapers. Now we're just romantic, and it's like she's hoping for this greater relationship. Whereas him is just like, oh no, you my girlfriend now. Like, I'm a shit on you. Yeah. Like, you're not my best friend anymore. You're my girlfriend, right? Like, I'm gonna be talking to my homies and being like, oh, like, talking about you in this trash way. Yeah. I'm gonna be like recording these sex tapes talking behind your back. I'm gonna be talking about your friend. And I think, like, that is actually what is trying to get Megan to realize, but Megan is not seeing it, and it's sad.
You have to remember, this season literally started with Debbie being like, yeah, your friends are guys, but girl friendships are different. And Megan is very much learning on the fly what that means, but she still values boys more.
Exactly, she does.
When Megan was like, you were bragging about being like having both of us and stuff, and he was like, yeah, I was bragging, I said I called you guys practice for the Brentwood girls. Like, meaning,
who are the Brentwood girls?
It's the college he plans to go to. He was calling Megan and Isabella practice as if he was gonna leave Megan.
He's slimy.
He's
so slimy. And he was gonna leave Megan.
And Steve said at the beginning, he's like, nah, that's not a long-term thing. That's kiddie stuff. And Debbie wanted to sit there looking a little offended.
Yeah.
And partially it's like, girl, they're literally teenagers. Like, what's realistically them being together forever? But it also just shows, like, Steve, Luke, and them, they're not thinking about...
They're not. They don't give a fuck about them. And
so bad. Oh my god.
Which, you know, and at the very end, we see that Isabella is like, fuck this. Like, let me just...
She is frustrated that Luke won't own his stuff. Because once he sees that he's going down, he's like, nah, Isabella has to go down with me. And I have to make her look worse in order to get Megan back on my side. So he's claiming, well, you know, she forced me to lie about, you know, having sex and calling you insecure and stuff. And she's so frustrated, she pulls a gun, points it at him, and he does what a lot of men do.
That he's like, you're crazy, you're deranged, she's literally crazy. Like, as if, how did I get this way?
Exactly. Like, knowing you pushed a woman or a femme to the very edge, and then being like, hands up, she's like crazy. Like, you guys are the ones who play with guns, not Isabella. But now all of a sudden she's the crazy violent one.
Right. And also just taking into account, like, Isabella has had a rough year here.
Yeah.
Like, no one likes her. The racism is skyrocketed to the roof. The misogyny, the slut shaming. Like, when she lifts up that gun, it is more than Luke in that moment. It is all of the systemic shit around her and her best friend who don't got her back.
No.
Like, man.
No. So she pulls the trigger. We know that's gonna graze him. He's not dead yet or anything. Yeah, really wild. But let's go now to August 1st, 2000. Megan and Isabella, they go to Ned's. They break into Ned's. They're trying to find footage of them going to that cabin that night because it looks bad. They don't find it, but the sheriff walks in and he's like, oh, you two are sus. But more questioning. He tries to get them to turn on each other. They're telling the same story right now of just like, oh, we went to Ned because we thought he was such a murderer. We wanted to confront him. And, you know, we weren't friends for like a mad long time, like on New Year's and stuff. But then he shows that finally more tapes are coming into play. Jeff's video from New Year's Eve party shows Megan saying, I want to get revenge on Luke. Yeah. It looks bad. It looks really bad.
But then they're just like, oh, like we wanted him to confess to the tapes and like we just wanted him to tell the truth, basically. Yeah. Which it's so interesting, but also like not surprising.
Yeah.
Because, like, there was no way that they could have told the truth from the beginning. Like, none of this looks good.
No.
Like, they couldn't just go to the police and be...
You shot him.
Yeah, they drugged him. They shot him. Like, they couldn't just go to the police and be like, listen, this is what happened. Like, this nigga's trash.
Yeah.
Like, he's a reason why this sex tape happened. He's the reason why we're not friends anymore. Like the police wouldn't have believed them. No one would have believed them because why? No one believes women. And like, and also he's dead. He can't be on trial for any of this, you know? And I don't know. It would be interesting. I feel like there's going to be a twist around his death.
Yeah.
Like there's already the ingredients that like are causing his demise that they have put in place, but I think the final execution, I wonder what that's gonna actually be.
Well,
because like he drowned.
Yeah.
So like, who is gonna make that push? Who is gonna, you know, like, I wonder what that's about.
Remember, Megan says he was planning to run away. So something else happens. He survives whatever is going through with the three of them.
It might be a situation where they were just like, you got to leave town. Like,
I don't think so, because Megan was talking about she was in cahoots with him. Like, I think Megan forgives him, and then something happens because he's talking about like, I'm gonna run away to my family, blah blah, and like we don't know why he felt like running away, and Megan was like, yeah, I saw him last at this. I sent a letter for him, I think there was. And then she was like, and then I never heard from him again. Like, something else happens after all of this. This does not lead directly to his death.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they totally look, there will be a lot of things pointing at him, but he has a few more days left.
I thought he died at the New Year's Eve party. I mean, not the party, but that day.
Maybe he does.
That's the last time that he's seen.
Yeah, he said he was going to run away. I wonder why he runs away.
No, they said he was going to run away. He never said. That's what I'm saying. They like he probably drowns that night.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh shit, we got to somehow cover this up. And to buy time, maybe they wrote that letter and maybe they made up this lie of like, yeah, he was going to run away. Like maybe to beef up the lie, it's like, oh yeah, like he found out I was pregnant and like he was like, I'm not going to deal with this. Like my dad, you know, like who knows?
That's true. That's true.
I feel like he dies tonight because that police report was like he had drugs in his system.
Yeah, it has to be hours.
It has to be that night.
Okay.
Like everything's leading towards that.
Okay. Maybe he tries to escape and he drowns because he's so drugged.
Maybe like in that. Oh, you probably didn't see that Black Mirror episode.
No, probably didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, wild. But we learned so much more.
Yeah,
it's getting pretty good.
And the episode ends with the girls turning on each other.
Of course.
In the confessional, in the police station, they're both just like,
she did it.
She did it.
She did it.
Which we knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah. You both did it.
You both did it. They both did it.
Like, it's not looking good for both y'all. It's mad late for you to do this. Yeah. Do you still think Isabella's gonna go down willingly for Megan?
I never said she was gonna go down willingly for Megan.
You said she could have.
I said that would be where she draws the line, that Megan would try to. I said this. I said
we literally have tape.
Yeah, you can watch it back. You can watch it back. Yes. I said I think it's gonna be Megan that we're gonna have like that moment of like. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be Isabella.
Megan does not. This is not a good episode for her.
Megan has like so many reasons to be desperate in the same way that the main girl from the first season had so many reasons to be desperate. Like, if anything, Megan would be fine with letting Isabella take the fall. Like, I think it might be a situation of like Isabella goes to jail and it was Megan all along. Like, I feel like Megan is going to try to convince Isabella to take the fall, and Isabella would be like, no, like, I'm like, this is where I draw the line with this ride or die shit. I said this.
I think you said they're setting up that she would, and you were like upset about that because she keeps putting.
You can watch it back. You go, yes.
I am.
I said that I think that Megan would try to ask Isabella to be like, yo, take the fall for this. And Megan and Isabella.
Be so bold.
Isabella will be like, no, like, this is where I draw the line on this ride or die shit. And then Megan would then still frame Isabella. Mm-hmm. And Isabella might go down for this. That's what I said might happen.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't see Isabella willingly being like, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Because I know there's gonna be something we didn't see coming.
Yeah, for me, it's just gonna be a matter of when it comes out. Isabella was behind putting the tape in. Mm-hmm. That might be the twist ending, honestly.
That tape that's still recording them pranking this young man is still running.
This is not a prank anymore. This is just a crime. This is just a crime.
This is a crime. But that tape is going to show something that we're not going to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a weird angle, though. Like, we do see her, so someone's going to be at the foot of the bed, because that's where it's pointed out.
It is a weird angle.
But yeah, it's a weird angle.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a fourth person who was there that night.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Jeff, maybe Brent, maybe Parker, you know? I think a fourth person is going to be in that cabin, and they either are going to see what really happens, or they're going to be a part of the death somehow.
Yeah.
I hope it's not Ned. I'm tired of him. I hope it's not him.
Nah, Ned was right.
Ned was right. Ned was right.
Ned was right.
Ned was right. Ned was right. He said
whole family trash.
You're right. I'm excited too.
All right.
We have 2 episodes left.
If you're still with us, thank you for watching or listening. And yeah, keep theorizing. Let us know in the comments. Oh, we didn't do a chaotic bye moment. I can't
think of one.
Yeah, Parker's just a really good ally.
Yeah. I mean, but she did rat them out at the police station.
I mean, still, she's a kid and, like, someone died.
Yeah.
And they did do something.
They're 100% guilty.
So, yeah. I don't think there's really much to be said on the bi-ness in this episode, but yeah, good black moment there. I think also finally Isabella turning on Megan and being like, she did it with the sheriff. That could be my BB moment, because she been need to do that.
What if Debbie killed What's his face? What's his name? Luke. What if Debbie killed him?
It'd be very interesting. I
That
don't
would be
see
a
it.
great ending.
I don't see it.
That
Like,
would be interesting.
She's good at standing up for her daughter when she figures out she's been wronged, but murder?
Yeah, this is not the kind of show that can have adults be.
It has to be the kids.
No, but last season, an adult was responsible for the crime.
Oh yeah.
So maybe they wouldn't do that again this season.
Mm-hmm.
God, last season was so cringy.
Yeah.
So cringy. I'm trying to think if there's another, like, I'm trying to, like, parallel, I'm trying to see if I can parallel a character this season who could be similar to who we find out is a part of this equation last season. Like, who was that character's name? Mallory? Like, who is a potential Mallory this season, right? Like, who is a person that we're overlooking, but but they're very much a part of this.
Yeah.
I feel like Jeff could be a Mallory.
It has to be Jeff or Parker. They're the closest peripheral characters.
Yeah.
Maybe Brent.
Brent.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting someone? No.
Mm-mm. There's the blonde, but we don't even know her name.
Yeah, we don't even know her name.
No one says her name.
No one says, say my name, say my name.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one says her name. Okay, well.
Let us know what you think of the comments and see you for episode 9.